Do you believe in afterlife? What if it's real? What do you imagine it looks like?
And this is the junction, where you choose one place to spend eternity and who to spend it with.
Eternity, the latest romantic comedy from A24, brings you to the afterlife with Joan, starred by Elizabeth Olsen.
Joan!
Riley, who is Joan's husband, starred by Miles Taylor.
You look amazing.
And Luke, who is Joan Leigh's husband, starred by Callum Turner.
You're exactly how I dreamt you.
Where they are all reunite and the love triangle begins.
Right?
Honey.
This 2025 fantasy romantic comedy is directed by David Friend, Irish writer and director whose work brands in genres, and for his recent one is called Eternity. It presents the concept of the afterlife in a tone of romantic comedy with a depth of life in it as well. Sound interesting, right?
I know this is a lot, but don't worry, I've been doing the research.
It's a very enjoyable film with a perfect blend of humor, sadness, and sweetness. The cinematography of this film is excellent. Many scenes are artistic in various aspects, both visually and audibly. Everything blends together harmoniously. Because of its fantasy element, the special effects were beautiful and captivating. From the scenery to the unexpected events, everything was visually stunning.
I'm quite sure that everyone who gets to see this film would talk about color grading, or at least mention how beautiful the shots, the colors, or the cinematography are. And from what I noticed is that the colors in the afterlife scenes are quite more vibrant, depicting the idea and the theme of the film that after death, you are returning to the form of your happiest self in life.
The film uses color to convey the emotions of both the characters and their settings. For example, Luke's clothing is predominantly deep blue, while blue can represent calmness and stability. Its cool tone also evokes feelings of coldness and distance. This might reflecting the emotional gap between Luke and Joan. Furthermore, blue is the opposite of yellow, the color of warmth. When Joan is with Luke, her clothing is also blue. Although she wears a yellow undershirt with red buttons, they are barely noticeable against the deep blue that surrounds her. In contrast, Larry's clothing is mainly yellow, symbolizing brightness, warmth, and happiness. This tone is also mirrored in Joan's clothing when she is with him. Another fascinating detail is Joan's red dress associated with vitality, life, and energy, which reflects the life she feels in Larry's present. In the end, Larry represents a warm summer for Joan, while Luke embodies a cold winter, symbolizing the distance and melancholy they experience in the world before the afterlife.
The use of lighting is very effective, blending soft light with vibrant colors. There are also scenes where lighting is used to emphasize the emotion of the character and draw the audience in.
The soundtracks also play an important part in conveying emotions throughout this film. I have looked up that there are 18 original soundtracks, and each soundtrack is well written that it fits perfectly with each scene, which is obvious because they were written and made specifically for this film. But I want to talk about the one named Eternity. It sounds quite romantic and lively, which is fitting to the genre of this film. We can also hear a sound that is similar to a clock ticking. This fits the theme of life, where clocks are always ticking and the time never stops. The clock ticking sounds also reminds me of what I will hear most at train stations, which is another important part of this film. Since each person after death will appear on the train that leads them to Afterlife Junction, where they stay before going to their shows in eternity, and they even travel to their shows in eternity by trains.
As a rom-com movie, I think they've nailed the comedy part by using the tight and fast-paced editing.
Oh my god, Luke, what a surprise!
Which cutting on the action of each characters to give a comical feeling.
Hell doesn't.
I didn't say speak!
Plus the use of juxtaposition as well, which cutting between two contrasting scenes of two characters, especially Riley and Luke.
Heads or tails?
Heads.
The next stop is Mountain World,
Who's fighting for the same girl, to highlight the humorous crash between them.
I don't like how Luke's been going around telling people he died in the war.
So this editing style gives the movie a comedic dynamic and make it not a boring rom-com. In a big picture, it seems to tell the story of a love triangle, right? But it also put a deep meaning about making a life choice in it. So I think the narrative balanced these two parts so well together. Like under the vibrant rom-com, the narrative also centered around life itself. Through Joan's character, I get a chance to reflect this on my own life, about the decision I have made or I have never made.
The other idea I got through the film's story and characters is that the happiest moments of your life don't mean that there's no sadness or burden. It's a mix of everything. You can still be happy while there might be other problems going on. Which brings me back to the idea that in life, all you can do is to keep going, keep living. These ideas are especially shown through Joan's situation. Joan is in the position of choosing who she wants to spend eternity with. This might sound like she's making a choice, a decision for herself only, but no, there are two other people who already decided that they want to spend their eternity with her. So she is making a decision for the three of them, which makes the choice even more complicated and meaningful.
And for the afterlife concept that has been portrayed through setting, I like the way they create the setting with the artificial feeling, like using the elements like high key lighting, colorful palettes, and props. It helps give the sense of curiosity to this concept. I mean, this concept is being questioned if it's real or not, right? So I like the way that they intend to make it look unrealistic, even though it does exist in this movie. I think it's interesting to portray the concept of afterlife in a lively and comedic way.
I have shocking news. You're dead. Yeah, how'd you know?
It took him forever to figure that out.
You may have seen this concept in films multiple times, and most of them are in mysterious or religion-related way, right? But this one combines it with a rom-com, which give another version to the afterlife concept.
Overall, I give this film a 4 out of 5, and I would highly recommend it if you're already into rom-coms. This film is not only entertaining, it also consists of meaningful life lessons. It will make you laugh, smile, or maybe you'll cry too. So, if you have a chance, you shouldn't miss it.
Everybody loves